Tonight's special guest is Bill Hohepa. Bill has had a long career in print, radio and television since the year 1968. He is what you call a bloke's bloke with TV programs about fishing, trucks, motorbikes and four-wheel drives. Be watching tonight to win one of 4 DVDs on trucking and fishing. We welcome Bill Hohepa as our special guest on The Beat Goes On. Bill Hohepa, welcome to The Beat Goes On.
Nice to be here.
You've got to be one of New Zealand's most famous baby boomers, Bill.
Oh,
You're a classic, aren't you?
I guess so, yeah. Been around a while.
What year was it? What year
1946. When people say, how old are you, Bill? I say 46. Really? Yeah, well, I was born in 46. But 46 is a nice age to be.
Everyone who's watching here tonight will have seen you on numerous television shows. I mean, if it moves, you make a movie about it, don't you, Bill? So whether it's talking trucks, talking motorbikes,
we do a four-wheel drive show as well.
Four-wheel drives, fishing,
yeah.
You name it.
Yeah, and written the odd book.
So what drives Bill Hohepa to get out and share his life with many interesting people?
Well, it beats sitting on the couch watching TV. You watch much TV, Bill? No, I don't. I usually watch the odd thing, but I'm too busy making it to be bothered watching it.
If you had a whole night to yourself to watch television, what would be your favourite program?
I way back from Star Trek days, I enjoy the old sci-fi myself. Yeah, I like the mysteries and the sci-fi mysteries.
I can't believe it. You're a Trekkie, are you? Are you a Trekkie?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Congratulations. I am such a Trekkie. I love Star Trek. Yeah,
but it had all the ingredients, sort of some of the mystery, the outrageous, I suppose, meeting these new beings, things go wrong.
So let's go back to right back to the beginning. Why did Bill Hohepa choose New Zealand to live this incarnation? So what was happening in 1946? Who was Mum and Dad, or what?
Well, my mother was. They lived in Mercer.
Yeah.
And grandfather Will's run a boarding house, and a lot of people worked in Mercer in 1946.
The trains, of course, went through.
Yeah, trains went through, and Roos shipping. They were had barges shipping sand and that sort of thing. So there was a lot of work there, and so Grandma ran the boarding house, and I'm not quite sure what Willsy did, but anyway. And so in 1946, my mother had me. Backing up a bit, she was only 15 when she had me, and it was all a bit unfortunate. So it was all back in that time was not the thing to be done, getting pregnant.
No, it wasn't, was it?
So anyway, so you got sent to Auckland to have me, and she
went up north for a while.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And so she struggled through her teenage years with me. I tagged along, and for one part of it, I actually went back to my father's side, but his parents, my grandparents and they had me till I was about 4.5, I suppose. So I could talk Maori at that stage. And then I went back to Mum, and she met this fellow, and we all moved in and set up house. And life just got a bit difficult from that, because the new fellow was a Scotsman, and I guess in England and Scotland, like the Yorkshiremen, they just beat the kids for getting pissed, beat the kids, get pissed again, beat the kids, and that was life in that era. Was it a sort of
not a once were warriors type environment, but close to it?
Yeah, but me personally, I just sort of you're getting beaten, but you sort of put yourself in a little happy place until it was over, and then.
Well,
it's difficult to and these days, a lot of children, I guess, who went through that, have those issues. I mean, I had those issues. I really got over them when I was about 50, completely. Completely moved on, put it all behind you. But it does affect you through your youth years.
At the age of 50, you said, "That's it. I want to put that."
Well, you talked it to death and found out everything and spoke to my brothers or half brothers, and so it took a while to get rid of it, but you do, and it's always just a little niggly naggly up until that point, and so you just move on and start doing.
So you felt right up to that. You felt resentment that you'd been dealt a bad hand, or if it's the game of life, the hand.
It was being called you're a useless bastard.
Yeah.
And that doesn't help, you know. And that's only because you didn't cut all the paspalum down with this hand mower.
Yeah.
Next door neighbours come over with their motor mowers because they felt sorry for me and they mowed this thing. And this man came out and told them off for helping. Now, so anyway, yeah. 18 years old, it's all over.
You left home?
No, I left home, but also he left mother, and then she went on with her life, and I started my life in the real world. But
did you ever see him again, this man?
Oh, from time to time.
Yeah. If you reminded him about how bad he was, would he have not acknowledged that, or?
Yeah. No, well, he did in the end. Yeah. Like on his deathbed.
On his deathbed.
It took a while, but anyway. So well, I'm not quite 15.
Yep.
And Mum said, I can't afford to keep you at school anymore, and I really enjoyed school.
Yeah.
And so she arranged for me to go and get a job with my uncle and aunt who lived in Matahina, which was a Whakatane board mills timber town. And I got a job as the working with the nursery gang, which that basically means chopping down trees, walking for miles, and a real physical sort of a job. And you lived in a single men's camp, so you got to mix with all the bullies and all the played cards, drink booze. You know, at 15, 16, you're getting taught all the University of Hard Knocks, as it were, you know. And then you're in every fortnight they have a cabaret, and then you're off to parties, and the old guitars go, and they sing the 10 guitars and all those songs from the past. That was always good. So in those years, you're away from all of that, and life's good to be living again. You're having fun.
Now, you always hankered, though. You did like the movies.
And like the matinees. You know, you sort of got your ninepence and you went to the bug house. In our case, it was the Grosvenor in Avondale, or I think it's called Hollywood these days. But and you pay your ninepence, race off down the front so you could sit in the front seat with your packet of Jaffers.
Watch the Lone Ranger, and the Jaffers right. Used to go down.
That's right, yeah. And the Three Stooges. I watched the Three Stooges the other day, and I'm sure they weren't as funny as what we thought they were. So, but that fascinated me. I just thought, how the hell did they do that? You know? So I had in my mind, I'd like to actually be able to do that one day. But then, at 15, you start into the work thing, and I thought I wanted to be a fisherman. I thought I could be a fisherman, a bit of oomph. But I don't think I'd ever be a filmmaker. Because you got to go to university to do any of that sort of thing. And, you've got to have an education, you've got to have school, so even to get into the institutions.
You thought that you had to be all those things to do something.
Exactly.
And if we look at Peter Jackson, he probably never had those things either, but he just persevered. In the end, it's perseverance, isn't it? And
it's a passion.
Yeah.
If you're passionate about anything, you get the opportunities.
Do you think it is easier for kids today than it was for Bill Hohepa back in 1946 in the 50s?
There's a lot more people, a lot more competition.
Yeah.
There's armies of people with university degrees in front of you, but it's the experience. What's missing today is experience. They don't do apprenticeships anymore. They've got somebody who's sort of learnt from university, now he's teaching it. He's never actually done it. He just knows the. But I think that's what's missing. It's A, passion, and B, experience. And so how do you get experience if you're not allowed to, like I want to make a film. And I want to make a film, and I've written the scripts and I've got it all down pat, and it's called A Fishful of Dollars, and it's pretty much the story of a boy who enlists the help of old people. The people with experience help him sort of overcome his problems. So anyway, that's pretty much the title. But you go to the institutions that sort of dish out the money.
Yeah.
You have to have made a film before they give you any money. So how the hell do you get a start in that, Yeah. And so I said, well, I can do this. I've got all the cameras, I can edit it, I can do the whole, there's no reason I can't just go out and do it and stuff the money. We just get people to volunteer. We just make it for a lot of fun. And they did that with the film The Castle.
Yeah, wasn't that a great movie? Yeah.
So they just got a whole bunch of people together and they just did it.
Marvellous movie.
And they made what? They made a few zillion out of it. So if they can do it, I can do it.
Now, but anyway, in the end, you ended up making a series about fishing.
Loved it. And and I think it's that gets you going. What is it? You pull it up. It's a snapper. Pull it up. It's a harper. Pull it up. A shark or whatever. But it's just the mystery. And you remember the mystery with the sci-fi? It's pretty much the same with fishing. It's the whole thing's a mystery.
Does anybody in New Zealand not know Bill Hohepa?
Well,
You can walk into any pub and
yeah,
from here to the
well, the faces,
Yeah.
since '86 it's been visible, but I've walked into a few, and some guys were sort of sitting over there. You were sitting having a quiet beer, maybe talking to somebody. Will come over and say, "Are you Bill?" Yeah. Oh God, I've watched this and I've watched that, and I've read your books, and we've got your book down at the batch, and we've tried all your tricks, and some of it worked and some of it didn't. But the thing was, up until 1986, when I sort of breathed life, and this was on the market. Previous to that, I was just a logo, and nobody really read me and heard the name and all that sort of thing. So I'd be sitting in a pub in the 70s and early 80s, and people would be talking about what I'd written, particularly the Maori fishing calendar.
Yeah.
And they say, what a load of crap this is, one table. And the other table, oh, Billy was right this week, we caught this and caught that and caught the other, you know. So it was just fun just to be sitting there listening to people. But once the face got on the market, then it was a little bit different.
Now, what about the Maori side of Bill Hohepa? You've used the name Hohepa, haven't you? You know, all the activism and about Maori. Did you ever feel discriminated against, or
no?
You never.
I was big enough to. I was big enough and ugly enough to stand up for myself, having been taught by a Scotsman. So I never ever got bullied.
And is it a better world now for a young Maori boys growing up compared to 1946, Bill? What do you think?
Well, the thing with me, I was brought up in a Pākehā world, which is very different to being brought up in a Maori world. And I say, brought up by my mother with a Scotsman, and I did things Pākehā, like go and get a job. Yeah. I can't afford, you know. So after school, I never played rugby, which is probably why I'm half together. My knees are fine, my back's fine, you know, all that sort of thing. So the Maori thing I wasn't really interested in.
Yeah.
I was too busy. You know, I sort of had a direction, and if you're going sort of, it's just a matter of the time thing. Well, I never really had the time to go and pursue that, and if I did, you know, things would have fallen by the wayside. Because I've always been, if you're going to do something, do it properly.
Do you understand what these activists are talking about?
Well, they have their protests, and you know, they've all got their agendas, and it's all political. And really, what it all really
But
boils. It's never really affected me at all. No.
You'd rather go fishing.
Yeah, and it doesn't affect the fishing. All this doesn't affect the fishing.
No, it doesn't.
One iota.
Now, Bill, we've got to end. I mean, we're both the same age, basically. We could sit here and chat all day, but we have been blessed with a great country, haven't we, New Zealand? It is a wonderful country. Having
been round and seen how the other half live, to come home, it's just great, you know.
It is a great country.
Not many places you can catch a snapper this big, you know, sort of just sitting in front of the major city. You can't do that in Hong Kong. You can't do that in, you know, other places that have got a harbour sitting right out in front of it. No.
The baby boomers, it was a good time to be born, wasn't
it? I think we've had the best of it.
Yeah.
When you look at all the rules and regulations that are around you, back then you could have an idea, follow it, do it, get it done, move on to the next one.
Yes.
You can't do that now. You've got to go and get a permit. You've got to go and get a certificate. One of the things with our Camp Ho programs, which was where we take maybe 20 kids away for a fortnight in the school, well, a week in the school holidays, and we teach them how to fish. We teach them the basis of life. But the big thing about that was self-esteem.
Yeah.
We taught the kids that you catch a fish. Let me give you an example. Porirua, and we went across to Kapiti Island. You've got to have a phone book of forms, sign them all to be on Kapiti Island, and take these kids for a week there. But at the north end there's a Maori village, and we got on well with the people there, Wayne Williams, and he let us use his house as the accommodation, and a little hook at the top we could fish off. And anyway, we come across on the ferry, and there's this boy. What are you doing here, son? Oh, they think this might do me good, but I don't think so. Have you ever caught a fish? Nah. Anyway, so we got off the boat, and I told everybody to go up and get into the batch. You come with me. So we went along to the right-hand side along this little spit, chucked in a pilly, bang, kahawai straight away. Gave this to the boy, the rod's bouncing away, and he said, what do I do with this? I said, just turn the little bent thing on the side there. So he starts turning and pull it up a bit, so we walked him through, and come this kahawai, and that whole attitude just fell off him right there when that fish hit the water.
He was excited.
Go and do that again. Yeah. And he was the first out, last back at the whole, during that following week, and I made sure that he got a rod and reel. He teamed up with another boy, and after that, instead of sort of hanging around town, sort of getting in people's way, he was on the bus, and they went up to the various beaches along that side, and they went fishing. And so it completely changed his life. I haven't got a university degree in childcare. I can't do it anymore. Isn't that just? I've got all the experience, and I've been teaching people all my life, more or less, you know. And I've been doing this for the Campo thing since 1979.
But you can't do it now.
79, 89, 99, 209, 40 years, and suddenly I can't do it because I haven't got a piece of paper.
Well, let's make up for it by, what about giving away some of your
yes.
DVDs?
Okay, I've got Series 6 of Talking Trucks, which is a great 12 episodes of our program. I think I've got a fishing video based around the soft baits. There's a thing called soft baits, little rubber things that work really well, and I've got a DVD of that people might like to have.
Okay, well, let's give away 2 on Talking Trucks and 1 fishing video.
Oh, 2 fishing videos, okay.
Yeah. Or 2 fishing videos, so that's 4 altogether.
Yep.
So you're going to email Jared at The Beat Goes On, and they're going to answer a very simple little question to qualify. And the question is very simple. Where can you see Bill Hohepa on television? Well, it's every Monday night at 8 p.m. on QTV. So Monday night at 8 p.m. That'd be the answer, wouldn't it?
Exactly.
That's 4 lucky people will each get 2 on trucking and 2 on fishing.
That's one.
Now, thank you very much, Bill. That's a very generous offer. So all I can say is keep trucking, keep fishing, keep motorbiking, keep...
Four-wheel
You've got
driving.
such a busy life. 4-wheel driving. Wonderful life. Thanks, Bill.
Good on you.